Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today's video I'm just going to talk about the Dunsaughlin 10k race that I did at the weekend. A fantastic race, I really enjoyed it. It's just a great day out. There was about 42 people in my club went down to do it. I think, yeah, in around that. Pretty high number, and it turned out it was an absolutely beautiful day. Turned out for the race actually that it was that kind of came against because it was a little bit too hot, but overall it was really good. I really enjoyed it. It's good to do a race to kind of let you know where you are, kind of get back in the mix and sort things out and see what needs to be worked on and what doesn't, and that was certainly the case for me in this race. But like I said, overall it was fantastic. The race starts at 7:30 p.m. so that's fine. I like racing in the evening time, but the problem with that was it was an absolutely beautiful day, and my mates were all texting me. They were sitting out in the sun, was getting pictures of beers, and everybody talking about how it was a nice day and what were you doing to chill out, and I was like kind of just sitting around the house. I went down and had a coffee in my favourite coffee shop just to kind of waste a bit of time and to get out of the heat, because it was, like I said, it was a really warm day. I was trying to fuel throughout the day and hydrate, but not fuel too much and not overhydrate. So overall it was good. Right, just getting a little warm up for Dunsaughlin. A couple of kilometres, a few little strides, warm the body up, get the lactate going, get the glycogen into the blood. I got down. When I got down there, we all checked in. We all kind of went in, checked in our bags and whatnot, and then standing around the start line, I got a bit of a warm up. I did about 1.5, 2k, and did a couple of strides. And what I was doing, the leg was totally fine. There wasn't any pain. I couldn't feel anything with it. But I haven't done the race before. I knew at the start that it was a net decline for the first couple of kilometres, and it's a pretty fast started race, and I was going to be running downhill quite a bit. So that was on the back of my mind. I knew that the leg issue, when it had been an issue, was two things. Running downhill was always an issue with it, and running fast, and I was going to be doing both. So I was a little bit worried at starting out. Anyway, I got the warm up done, got a couple of strides, and then yeah, headed down to the start line. And like you can see here, there's a lot of people at that start line. Big numbers in this race. It's a fantastic race. Yeah, so as the race kicks off, it starts off, like I said, we're running downhill, so you can see us here, and it runs down for a little bit, and then at about a kilometre you sweep down towards the town, turn around the roundabout. You can see a bit of footage there. So as the race starts, like I said, we're heading downhill. There's big crowds in the road, but it dissipated pretty quickly, and it was easy to find space in the road, which was good. But for the first, I would say, pretty much the first 3 kilometres, you're kind of gradually going downhill, or they're false flats that have a little bit of downward spiral to them. I think the first 2 kilometres were just under 4 minutes per kilometre for me, and then the third one was around at 4:05, and then the road flattened out. Just going up on 3k, feeling pretty good so far. Splitting about 4:05 per kilometre. And this is where the problem started. Once I got onto the flat, the legs started hurting really bad. Like, it went from, when I was running downhill I could feel it a little bit, but then once the road flattened out, it kind of, the pain in the leg builds, but what happens is I get a tightness around the ankle, like a real stiffness or tightness, and I feel like something's going to break or crack or snap. So I just had to stop. So I stopped and stretched it for a bit, and then it settled down almost straight away. Once I stretched it, I could feel it kind of alleviate, so I started running again, and that happened. I probably had to stop 4 or 5 times between kilometre 4 and kilometre 6. But when I was running, I was settling into like 4:20 per kilometre pace. It was fine. Then there's another little uphill section on 6k, and then you come down again, and so it's a bit of a downhill. And then when you get to around that 7k, my leg was, at this point, the leg pain was there, the ankle stiffness and tightness was there. It was feeling like it was going to crack, so I was stopping and stretching it, but the pain in the leg was quite intense at that stage. Around about the 4k, I did think about pulling out of the race, because I was worried that I was going to over or do more problems to the leg than what I should, and I didn't want to end up being now that I couldn't run and miss a heap of marathon training. So I kind of decided at 4k that if it did get much worse or any worse, I was just going to pull out. And then I realised once I passed 5k, once past the halfway mark, I'm like, well, it's a loop, so I'm like, I gotta finish either way, so you might as well just walk around. Anyway, I got to 7k. The pain was quite intense, but I could have picked up the pace, I guess, physically or fitness wise, but every time I did, the ankle tightness would come, so I had to, running around 4:20 was fine. It kept the ankle from feeling like it was going to snap, and got me through the race. There was a couple of, the support around the road was absolutely fantastic. There was a couple of points, because it was really hot, there was people who had their sprinklers down the road. Oh, that's nice. 3k to go. The leg pain is quite intense, particularly in the downhill sections. little bit of reprieve from the heat was absolutely fantastic. And then coming down to finish, yeah, I really enjoyed it. I got the camera out and I got a bit of footage of the crowd. It was absolutely fantastic. 100 metres to go. Cracking crowd, fantastic crowd. Time to pick it up for the last 50. Fantastic.
Good stuff. This is a man recording the moment.
You can hear the guy saying there's a guy filming it, which is pretty cool, you know. Look, it's fine. Yeah, and then once I finished, then I had some thoughts on what I thought about the race. Right, that's the finish line done. I think I did 43:20 or somewhere in around that. So a really tough day at the office, but look, I'm happy enough at the time. It was tough going out there. It was super hot. The little leg thing, the first kilometre, 2 kilometres of race, pretty much a net downhill, and I could feel the leg, but didn't feel too bad. And as soon as we got onto the flats, just started cramping and me lots of pain. The ankle started slipping up. So between 4k and 6k, I had to stop probably 4 or 5 times, just stretch it out. And then I settled into a little rhythm around the 4:20, like I was saying, and I finished strong. So I'm happy enough. Look, it was a disaster of a day, but you know, good to finish, good to get it done. You know, the temptation to pull out was there, but I'm glad I finished. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. Like I said, it didn't go to plan by any stretch of the imagination, but look, it's another race done. I know where I am, I know where the fitness is, I know I need to get this leg sorted. So what I'm doing this week is, I haven't ran at all this week. It's now Tuesday. I haven't ran since Saturday night of the race, and I'm not going to run until at least Saturday. I'm just going to let it settle down. I just think it needs about a week just to settle down. I don't think it's anything serious. And when I am running light, or even getting up to around that 4:15 per kilometre, the pain is only like a 2 out of 10, 2 or 3 out of 10. It's when I go faster that the pain increases and then the ankle tightness comes. So overall, it's not too bad. So I'm going to do a bit of cycling this week. I haven't done any as of yet, but tomorrow I'm going to cycle in and at work, so kind of twice, get a bit of mileage up on the bike. And I'm doing quite a bit of walking, which feels great for the leg. And I did quite a bit of strength and conditioning last night out the back garden, just got some weights and moved around. So I'm going to use this week just to get a load of strength training done, get a bit of cycling done, do a whole load of footsteps walking, and then start to build again from Saturday. The plan after that now is to bring the mileage up, like I spoke about in the last video, try and get up around that 75 kilometers a week. I've been at 65 for the last probably 8 weeks. This morning, the reason why I haven't done any cycling as of yet, this morning I went back to the doctor and the vampires took some more blood out of my arm, so I got a full blood count done this morning. So I'll wait, it'll take a couple of days for those to come back, and then I'll find out exactly what's going on with the iron and the ferritin and whatnot, and hopefully I can get that sorted. And then once I do, it'll be all guns going forward. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Like I said, I really enjoyed that race. The next race that I have booked is the Dublin half marathon. I will be gunning for that one. I'm going to be in shape come that race, and there won't be any kind of excuses about leg pain and whatnot. I'm planning that when I get to that race, I want to get a PB as my main target for this year in our race. I'm hoping it will be in the marathon, but I'm going to try for the half marathon. I think my PB is 126, a low 126, so I'll be hoping to be in around that come September for that Dublin half marathon. I may do the Longford marathon before that, or some other races, but the next one booked, the next one actually in the calendar at the moment, is the Dublin half marathon. That's pretty much it for this video, guys. I hope you liked it. If you did, Dunsaughlin, let me know. I met a whole lot of people at the race. A couple of people before the race started came over to me. 1 or 2 knew me from the Instagram, a few knew me. Most people recognise me from the YouTube channel. And then after the race, got talking to a guy called Michael. He had a pair of those new Puma shoes. He let me try them on, just see what they feel like. And there was a couple of other people in the race when I was passing some people, or people passing me. They said hello. As you can see, if you saw earlier in that finish where I sprint, there was a guy running beside me for a bit, and he said, "Oh, look, I know you." We were kind of chatting about the YouTube channel. He said he watches all my videos. So yeah, it's really nice when that happens, you know, it's cool. Anyway, that's it for this video, guys. I'm going to get back to work, do a few patients, and I'm coaching running club tonight. In the meantime, guys, run far, run fast, most of all, run sensible.